Kamusta everyone, I'm Sizz, and Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition can be a very complex game. And while I do have a video talking about Divinity Original Sin in a beginner style format, there are certain people who are looking for more than just that. Talents are one of the biggest ways you can impact your character and make them unique to other builds entirely, and so, as for someone's request, here's how to play Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition Talents Guide. Well, that's a mouthful. Talents in Divinity Original Sin are obtained once every few levels. At the beginning of the game, you get to pick 2 talent points with you at character creation and will continue to earn more talents as the game goes on. They are valuable, permanent, and usually what sets other characters apart from each other. Supposed to say, it's what molds your characters entirely aside from skills and attributes. Some has prerequisites, some has not. Some gives a lot to offer, some not so much. There are 50 talents in total in the game, and it's best that you think about this carefully before slotting them into your character. And in true how to play style, I'll be going over them one by one, starting with the name, what it does, and what I think about it. Without further ado, let's begin. All skilled up. This is great later on in the game where you already have your character all built up with its necessary skills and talents. Since you don't really have any other usable talents in your build that you need, this one would be a great addition just to give your character an extra push. I wouldn't really recommend getting this early or mid-game unless you really know what you're doing, so I advise just getting it last when you need it. Anaconda. With the multitude of available weapons you're going to encounter while playing the game, there's not really a reason to limit your warrior into one weapon type, as you will find something better as you go further into the story. And with that reason, I highly recommend not getting this unless you're absolutely sure, and even then, I still wouldn't do it. Arrow Recovery. Perfect for Rangers. This is pretty self-explanatory, I don't think I have to explain this. This is very recommended for Rangers and Archers, which is the same thing. Avoid Opportunist. Useful for range and squishy characters when up close and personal with enemies, but I recommend just not letting that happen entirely. There are lots of skills in the game that would let you avoid that situation in the first place, so if you really want this, might as well give it to your melee characters. That way they won't be interrupted while going from one enemy to the next, as they're usually found in the front line anyways. Backstabber, a must-have for rogues. If you don't have this, don't be a rogue. Bigger and better. Much like what I've said with all skilled up, take this when you really don't have any necessary talents left to take. Bully. Great for warriors as they would most likely have the skills required to cause those status effects. This increases damage output reasonably well and there's really no reason not to take it. Comeback Kid. Really useful on tough situations and would be great on significantly harder ones, but with my philosophy when it comes to role-playing games, it's much better to avoid that and prevent that situation from happening entirely. So instead of taking this and feeling a bit safer knowing that you won't get one shot, I would suggest that you just buff up your character more or place them in a better spot to avoid getting killed entirely. Don't get me wrong, it's an extremely useful talent, it's just I don't see it as necessary. Courageous. There are situations where your enemies will keep on causing fear to your party, but instead of taking this, I advise that you just level up your willpower, which would lower the chances of getting a lot more negative status effects than just fear. Demon. Fun fact about Demon and why a lot of people are taking this talent is if you obtain more than 100% fire resistance, you would actually heal from fire damage. The question is it worth it? I personally think, yeah, I mean if you manage to get to that point, I guess, but I think you should just take this later on when you're close to getting that 100% fire resistance. I also highly recommend that you save up before taking it, as I myself am not quite sure if this is gonna be all that substantial. Elemental Affinity. Great for mages, perfect for water mages. This is an absolutely great talent, perfect for spellcasters on the back line, completely away and safe from fights. From fights? In Divinity Original Sin, a good offense is usually the best defense. If you can kill them before they can get to you, fights would end significantly faster. Elemental Ranger, also an absolute necessity for Rangers. The thing about Rangers is that they don't really have much skills or talents that they can use or take advantage of. The best thing you can do with them is just keep them away from fights, dish out as much damage as you can, and keep moving them if they get too close to an enemy. Do that and you'll be fine. Escapist. I wouldn't really recommend getting this, especially for a game where you can just restart fights by loading a quick save, so yeah, no, don't get this. Far Out Man. Great for mages. Again, the farther your mages, the longer they survive. 5-star dinner. No. Glass Cannon. Okay, I usually take this for my mage as they would be an absolute powerhouse at the start of each combat round. Yes, they will be extremely squishy, but combined with the Far Out Man talent, it'll make sure that you can dish out as much damage as you can before they can even get close to you. Perfect for a mage, or even a ranger, just not both. Unless you're really good. Which I did. Gorilla. Necessary for rogues. If you don't know why, maybe you should try out other RPGs. Headstrong. Great for frontline damage dealers if combined with bodybuilding first. Don't take this on character creation. Hyperopia. It's kind of great for rangers. Kind of. Here's the thing, your rangers and mages won't always be at far enough locations from their enemies. There will be times, many times, that they might instantly teleport in front of you, and if that's the case, you wouldn't really have anything to fight back with other than AoE spells or target skills. So yeah, I wouldn't personally take this, but it kinda depends on you. Ice King. It's demon, but for water. Iron Hide. Absolutely perfect for your warrior. This will give them an extra tankiness from spells, and will also make sure that they don't die as much. Know It All. People might actually hate me for this, but I don't think it's worth the point, even without the negative cost. It's like Bigger and Better, take it at the very end when you need it because you don't have any talents worth taking left. Which I highly doubt because Bigger and Better is technically and literally better than this. No pun intended. Leech. I used to love this. I also had this on my first playthrough of the game, which I managed to finish, but thinking about it now, standing on blood puddles is so situational that I wouldn't really recommend getting this unless for role-playing purposes, which I did, and that was on Tactician difficulty. Light Stepper. It's fine, I mean, I wouldn't take it. It's not really all that great for the first playthrough, but definitely worth having for the second one, just to find the secrets that you may have missed. Lightning Rod. No, just boost up your willpower. Lone Wolf. This is a very specific talent for a very specific type of playthrough. This will not let you have any more companions than the 2 that you just made on character creation, but will give you an extra buff and bonuses to help remedy that situation. Great for second playthroughs, not so much for first ones, as you might miss story sequences only accessible through companions. Magician. If you've seen my How to Play Divinity Original Sin, a beginner's guide video, link in the description, you'll know that this sucks. Morning Person. Just don't die. My Precious. Just fix your gear. Opportunist. Perfect for frontline melee characters as it'll add some extra firepower in the game. Attacks of opportunity are attacks wherein if an enemy even dares to move next to your character that has this talent, they will automatically get hit in the process. Not only would this add more damage to the enemy, but it would also cause your enemies to die faster. What? Pack Mule. Just sell your gear. You don't need everything. Parry Master. Necessary for dual-wielding rogues, not so much for dual-wielding warriors as there's no benefit to being one unless for role-playing purposes. If you have a warrior, go one-handed sword or shield, or completely two-handed. Don't go dual-wielding. Pet Pal. Required for at least one character if you want to access different quest routes, information, world knowledge, or you just simply want to enjoy the game. Talking to animals is fun. Picture of Health. Necessary for warriors much like Iron Hide. It buffs you up even further, preventing you from dying as much. Pinpoint. Good for one character in your party, to which I recommend the Ranger or Rogue, as they don't really have much skills to use anyway other than their standard skills, special arrows, and grenades. I had this, you don't exactly need it, but it's nice to have. Politician. Give it to your talker, which is the one you're gonna be using to talk to NPCs. Other than that, don't get it. I didn't. Scientist. I had this on my crafter Jahan since, you know, he already has the talent anyways, which makes him perfect to be the crafter of the party. Sidestep. Great for rogues since they are very squishy in the first place and you really don't have anything to defend yourself other than Parry Master. This will also add to your survivability as a whole. Sidewinder. Again, great for rogues since you'll be dancing around your opponents most of the time. Otherwise, don't take it. Slingshot. Give it to the same person you gave Pinpoint. It'll complement well. Speed Creeper. One word. Rogue. Stand your ground. Again, just boost up your bodybuilding. Stench. If you have an extra talent space for your mage or ranger, get this. This way you won't have to move away as much. Swift-footed. If you have an extra talent space for your warrior or rogue, get this. This way you can move as much. Thick skin. Same as iron hide and picture of health, necessary for your frontline warrior, makes you more tanky. Voluble mage. Just increase your willpower instead. Walk it off. Useful, but not worth the talent point. Give it to anyone who has an extra talent point slot. What a rush. Again, useful, but not really worth the talent point. Give it to anyone who has an extra talent point slot. There's a lot of useless talents in this game. Wow. Weatherproof. Just don't stand on them, or get rid of them as soon as possible. I say this because some of these talents are very situational, and I don't think situational occurrences are worth the talent point. So yeah, they are useful, just not something I would waste a talent point on. Zombie. I had this. It was fun. Was it useful? Yeah. Did it bite me in the butt a couple of times? Yeah, many times, but it's really nice to have. I wouldn't really recommend it for new players. I was just really stupid and it all worked out for me. And again, it's a nice and fun talent to have. Don't take it though. It's not no. Kamusta everyone? Yes, I am doing a Divinity Original Sin 2 video. No, it might not be released this month. I'm so sorry. Yes, I am playing the game. It's really fun. I forgot how fun Divinity games are. And no, it's far more complex than this game. It's hard, man. I thought it was gonna be simple. How am I supposed to know there's a respec mirror in Act 2? I didn't have to keep on I've been recreating characters all the time. I think I played Act 1 so many times, I have it memorized by now. Okay. Next video is about skills featuring the Air Third line. Like the video if you don't dislike it, and dislike if you don't like it. Share it with your friends, and if you do like it, consider subscribing to the Phantom Heart for more. And click on that notification bell to be reminded of my future videos. I'm Sis, and thank you for watching.